Hello there, I'm Begalius, and I'm doing another video where I talk, and my Audacity is far too zoomed in. I like to zoom out on Audacity just so I can see the waveforms, and then I kind of... Do I sound like I'm high right now? Because I promise I'm not, but I do enjoy watching the waveforms. I can't be the only person who enjoys watching the waveforms. Oh, please tell me I'm not... Oh god, this is a bad way to say it, particularly with what I'm talking about in this video. To sound so dumb at the start is not a good move. But I recently read something on the internet, which is where things that are from the internet come from. And it was regarding... It's phenomenal. I'm going to have a hard time with this one, just like getting it out because it's so funny to me. But a bunch of NFT bros went to a real life party. And they've all come back with issues with their eyes because from what I can tell, and I haven't looked too much into this because if I do, I'll begin to get existential and think about how dystopian all of this shit is. But they all went to this party, and because the organisers used UV lights and not proper stage lighting, everyone has eye issues now, and it's having a huge medical effect on a bunch of people who went, like a lot of people who went. That's not funny. I mean, it fully is. It's massively funny. Because it's kind of like, what is it? Schadenfreude? Or, you know, joy in the pain of others. But it's also something that I'm not sure if we do have a word for. But profound joy in the pain of people who kind of deserve it. Because, look, I don't want to sound mean. But look, NFTs, if you're dumb enough to fall for that, and then clearly there's a link between you being dumb enough to fall for NFTs and also coming back with eye conditions, then a little bit of Darwinism at play, like a visual eye cornices, Darwinism at play potentially. I don't know. But it gets me thinking, whenever I see stuff like this, I have this like pipeline of thought where... I can't help but wonder about the magnetism of stupid people. Which, by the way, is totally what I'm going to name my first album. But I can't help but think about how easily stupid people find other stupid people. And moreover, why smart people struggle to find other smart people, because you would assume that it's the other way around, surely, right? I mean, in terms of skill sets, if you're dumb, then you're going to have a harder time finding people who will attach to you in a way that is permanent and real, whereas if you're smart, you're going to probably find it easier to notice certain cues in people that would then, you know, respond positively to the person that you are and the way that you behave. However, it isn't true, and that's actually not the rhetorical question that I just presented it as, because if you really consider it and you really strip it back, or rather actually the reverse, you really sort of dive into it, with stupidity comes a certain level of naivety. And I do think that actually, when you look at it, and sounds like a really pejorative commentary, by the way, so it's absolutely nasty, but if you look at it, the people who sort of lack awareness and are a little bit naive, they're the people who tend to get into arguments, but throw clothes out the window, swear in the street and stuff like that. And actually, those relationships aren't permanent, but they're just people who are willing to initiate a relationship to where it doesn't matter whether it is permanent or not. It's just fleeting and in the moment, and sort of 8 times out of 10 they're actually not permanent, and they don't turn out to be rewarding relationships that they have with people. Whereas I think with smart people, there's a lot more sort of overthinking that goes into the foundation and the process of finding someone who can quote-unquote handle you and who would connect with you in a good way, and so therefore it takes longer, but those relationships do flourish and bud and last in potentially a more permanent way. Now, of course, there are exceptions with things like very intelligent autistic people or people with Asperger's and what have you, but I do think that, yeah, there's a different correlation between the two. But when you see these NFT bros, get together, whenever you look up these stories, it's always backstabbing and cheating and falling out, and they're always willing to throw the next person under the bus whenever it comes to these like pump and dump schemes and stuff like that. And I think that's why. I think that because you're not forming full connections, you're just creating relationships that exist due to a lack of thinking about it, a lack of actually being cognitive and cognizant in the moment of creating that relationship. I don't know, it's really interesting. I always think about stuff like this, and I'm being very careful because like I said, I think this is a very pejorative conversation, very condescending, but also B, there are other realms where these people exist and not just in NFTs, and I think I've alluded to what that is. If you track this channel back, then you'll probably know my sort of social political leanings and know what I'm referring to in this moment. But I guess I'll close that book there because I don't really want to piss anyone off. So that's that. I'm going to either continue enjoying my night or I'm going to record another commentary because I have more ideas. And I guess I'll see everyone later. Oh, at the NFT concert. I really want to go blind.